Can you talk about what you'll be looking for in the spring from the kids who are at quarterback and sort of what your timetable is, if there is one, to determine who will be the starter?
Well, the last part, there's no timetable. You just go day by day. Oh, we want to just get them comfortable, find out what they can do, and not try to do more than they can handle. Every year's a little different year. If we have to modify some things offensively in order to adjust to what their ability is, we will. But we don't know that. We're going into the season with the idea that we've got some really good prospects, and we'll see what happens from there. But there's no agenda, really.
So will Chaz Powell be given any look at defense this spring?
Yeah, we're looking at him on defense.
And you think Dan Lynn will play any safety?
Well, Dan Lynn is a good defensive back. Whether he's going to play safety or corner, I don't know yet. We've only had 3 days of practice, so it's hard for me to evaluate. And you're not allowed to do much with them in the winter program as far as actual football. You can get them in shape and you can do different things like that. But Dan Lynn's a guy with a lot of athletic ability, and he can probably play corner or he can play safety. But right now, we're just trying to get a feel for the football team and where he would fit in.
You mentioned the quarterback. Is McGloin in the picture? And you also mentioned, I think, after the bowl game about the possibility of Brackett.
Well, we haven't done anything with Brackett, but McGloin, is definitely in the picture. McGloin's a good, solid kid, smart kid, handles the huddle well. As I said, I'm not sure where we're going with the quarterback situation right now. Obviously we don't have an established kid who's played a lot of football. I don't think any of those kids have played much football. But we're going to try to go step by step. Today's the fourth day, and then we're going to take it off over the Easter holidays, and we'll come back to work on Monday on the fifth day. We'll have a couple of days of staff to evaluate the tapes and things like that, so that we can maybe get a little bit of feel as to where we're going to go. But right now, we're not. That's why I said spring practice, so you guys here. If you guys can't play golf and do something.
Joe, besides Chaz Powell going over to cornerback, are you contemplating any other position change, or look at some guys at some new positions in the spring?
Oh, we'll probably change 15 guys over a period of time. But, and I'm not sure Powell's going to be a corner. I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. Spring practice is a great time to take some kids who are, one step away from being good. They come out of their stance a little high and do things, that fundamentals, and to get a feel for what their potential is. And you got to be careful. You don't go into spring practice with preconceived ideas as to who's going to do what and what have you. And then you end up neglecting somebody who's maybe a late bloomer or a kid that's out of a great winter program. So obviously Powell's a good athlete. He can play both sides. If he can play offense or he can play defense, we're going to take a look at him at defense.
Paul Jones has been in school since January. I wonder what your impressions are of Jones so far. Paul Jones.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've seen Paul Jones. We got a whole bunch of people practicing out there, and I walk around and I try to watch the offensive line, the defensive line, watch the wideouts, watch the quarterbacks, watch the running backs. I probably have seen Paul Jones throw the ball 8 times in 3 days. He's obviously a good athlete. He can run around and move a lot. It's a tough situation when you walk into a quarterback playing in a league we're playing in and having to play some of the teams we have to play, particularly on the road, when you got to play in Alabama and Ohio State on the road, probably the number 1 or 2 teams preseason in the country, and then you got to play an Iowa team that plays such great defense on the road. So you got to be very, very careful as what you can expect from a kid that just comes in.
Joe, are there any guys that you're holding out of spring practice for contact drills because of injury? Like
Paterno was banged up. I'm going to keep him out. There's a couple other kids that are banged up, but they would not be people that had been and played a lot of football. Young Mounty is, they're letting him do some drills, but he's no contact or anything like that. But so I would think Astorino is the one guy that really has not done. He won't do anything in the spring.
Who are some of the players who are in the running for the spots at offensive tackle?
You got a big pencil and a big sheet? Wait not. There again, I know it sounds like I'm being evasive. I can't tell you. We're moving guys around. We argue every morning. If you're going to call it an argument or a discussion, is so-and-so, can he handle the pass protection? Would somebody else be better? Let's take a look at him. Let's move this guy around. And for me to make any kind of a statement as to where people are going to play is ridiculous right now. We just don't know. We've had 1 day in pads. First 2 days we couldn't do anything but helmets. We've had 1 day in pads. And, we're going to move a lot of guys around. We're going to try to get the 5 best offensive linemen on the first team, and then we're going to try to get the second best 5 offensive linemen on the second team, and we'll go from there. But right now, I honestly couldn't tell you. If this was a staff meeting, we'd go through this every day. I always challenge him. Well, how about this guy? How about that guy? I like the way he came out of his stance. Well, he's so tough. This guy, he can't recover. He's not strong enough yet. He's a year away. I mean, they're the kind of conversations that you have when you're trying to organize a new football team.